So when we when we think about winter, when we think about the intention of just Mother Nature in general, it's time for things to slow down. It's time for things to quiet down. I want to invite you to notice what happens in your body when you ask it to slow down and quiet down. I was absolutely, I know I've shared this story a bunch of times, but I was absolutely early on in therapy, early in recovery, really resistant to what I thought mindfulness was. And I was also that typical ACAer of going, am I grounded? How do I know? Like, did I pass the quiz? Wanting to do it right kind of person. And obviously, in the moment, I was external because I'm asking if I did it right. But this idea of like, what happens if I get quiet and if I get still? What is the process of my body? Because I too really relate to what Bob said. I crave alone time. I don't get a lot of it, and I crave it when I have it. I love it. It feeds me most of the time. And early on, I can say that I would do anything to resist it. I'm pretty sure I never met her, my inner child, my inner teen. I didn't even know she existed, fully unaware of my body, any needs that I had. And slowing down meant that I needed to hear all those things and listen to all those things and feel all those things. And there was just a part of me that felt like being numb was just easier. One thing I want to remind you of when we get into recovery, part of what we're doing for our body and with our body is we got to feel to heal. And remember, feelings are energy in motion. So when some of you guys are talking about, I'm fucking tired, I'm ready to go to bed. Well, hello to being fully whole and integrated and authentic, because your body is using all of the systems as it's supposed to be using them. And you're feeling a lot of things. Energy in motion is the definition of feelings. So our body is working if we're sitting in the chair or if we're walking down the street, right? Energy is exhausting. If you've ever been to one of my multi-day workshops, you know what that feels like. it feels tiring, and the body is tired, the soul is tired, not just sleepy, right? And so I just want to remind you that as we feel to heal, it's because we become more responsible for Maslow's hierarchy. We are more responsible for listening to our body. So of course she or he is going to talk to us more. Of course we're going to get this symptoms, signs of, oh, night, baby. Love you. Of course we're going to get the messages that we need to go to bed early, or that, oh, damn, it's dark outside, but it's only 6:30. I'm kind of done. I'm ready to go. Time changes a bitch. So I just want to validate you guys with that, and recognizing that when we are feeling to heal, there's a lot of processes happening that don't look like physical energy, and it's still energy. It's still exhausting. So when you think of a tool around leaning in, recharging, the pause, the breath, whatever of those terms is what you do when you kind of come back in to go, okay, what's happening? What do I need? There's two options, and neither of these are wrong. Okay, you get two options. The difference in the two is one has a different outcome than the other. One is when I'm, this is an amberism. I don't know if this exists or not, but I don't even know where I got it from. When I'm peopled out, I'm done. No more peopling. I can't handle it. I can go into Target for 30 minutes and I'm peopled out. I'm done. It has something to do with being in an environment where there's just people everywhere. Everybody's on a different path, doing a different thing all at the same time. And my nervous system is trying to assess it all. I don't have the energy for that anymore. Like my body doesn't have that type of capacity to assess at that level anymore. And what I know is when I am with fellow travelers, my body does not respond the same way. I last much longer. I have much more capacity and I don't get peopled out. The difference in the two is I feel safe. I feel safe with my people versus being in public. So I went a little off track there, but the first tool is vegging out. It's the idea of when I go into TikTok and when I come out of TikTok, I'm the same. I'm the exact same. Like nothing gets better, nothing gets worse. I just am. Versus when I lean in, when I take a breath or take a pause, I go in one way and I come out a different. Both of those are options for me at any point. I veg out usually when I've peopled too much because I'm just so overstimulated that I just need a break. And usually after I veg out, then I can go into my leaning in. But it is almost this stabilization period. And I know we've talked about it before when some people have said, okay, Am, so when is it okay to numb and medicate? And I've said when it doesn't hurt me and it doesn't hurt anyone else. That's vegging out. That's TikToking. That's whatever. And the intention is I'm going to come out the exact same way I went in. So if the intention is to feel better, then the tool that I want to use is leaning in, the pause, the breath, the recharge, whatever word fits for you. And if you haven't experienced a difference in your body in those two things, then I would invite you to do more group work, whether that's fellow traveler work like here with us, or whether that's doing a group with my team, like for 8 weeks. Because what we learn is when my story is reflected back to me, or when I experience other people's recovery, it gives me options of what to do. I come every Thursday night with tools for you guys. We have lots of tools, but the reality is to use one by myself versus using one in community or in group, I get the benefit of co-regulation. That's what I was talking about early on in my share, which is I know intellectually all the things, the coping skills that I can use, but it's really hard to use a coping skill on me by myself when I'm in a trauma trigger. I can't override that. But when I'm with a fellow traveler or when I am co-regulating, that means someone is holding the space for me while I use the tool, and I'm going to have a very different experience. That's what you've experienced in groups with me or workshops with me. That's what you've experienced in 8-week group with my clinicians, or if you've done an intensive, you've experienced co-regulation. And that's healing in connection. We're wounded in private, we heal in community. So I just want to share that if in those two tools, vegging out and leaning in, they don't feel different for you, that's the next step. You just need an experience where you've co-regulated and your body has some muscle memory for what it feels like. Then after that, you'll be able to do a lot more of it because the more you use it, the stronger it gets.